I'm Amanda Shivari, and we're here in Rochester along 490, where travel conditions are declining rapidly, but we have you covered. We're going to have everything you need to know before you hit the roads, coming up tonight at 6.
The wind has been whipping all day here along Lake Ontario, but as the weather conditions deteriorate, the lake is getting more and more angry. I'm Jennifer Lukey at Beatty Beach in Greece. Live coverage coming up.
This is WHEC TV, proudly serving Rochester. News 10 NBC starts right now.
Thankfully, Hearts was open so we could get some last-minute necessities before it really comes down tonight.
Last-minute preps before it really starts to come down. Travel advisories in effect for many parts of our area. Driving conditions nearly impossible for some folks, and thousands of flights canceled. Rochester expected to get almost 2 feet when it's all said and done.
And the snow is here, and it is snowing hard. We wanted to show you what it was like out here in the conditions. We are live outside our studios on East Avenue in downtown Rochester. Good evening, everybody. I'm Brett Davidson.
And I'm Jennifer Mobilia. It is miserable out here. Monroe County is urging residents to avoid any unnecessary travel after 7 o'clock. The roads are getting a little slick out there. In Seneca County, all roads are closed tonight. Ontario, Yates, and Wayne counties have all issued travel advisories. We have team coverage on this March misery, but we begin with our hometown weather expert, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Williams. Kev, it's nasty out here.
But Jen, it's partly cloudy and 72 in here right now, so we miss you. We hope you're doing well. It is a nasty night. I mean, we're a week from spring, and it just goes on and on. The thing about this system, it's just not going to end. It's going to continue to snow and snow. It hasn't stopped since just after 7 o'clock last night, and it's going to continue to snow right through the night into tomorrow morning. So here we go. Let's talk about where we are. First of all, the winds, a big issue across our region right now, and that's as expected. And you can see those winds. Lake Ontario is just roaring right now, and Jen Lukey will have more on that in a second. Here is Sodas Point, and that's a concern because the lake level is high, got some beach erosion concerns, and of course, all that blowing and drifting. So here is the setup. Snowfall amounts in our area so far have been in that 7 to 12-inch range. We anticipate another 4 to 8 inches tonight. Most of us will easily have 12 to 18 inches. A few spots will exceed 20. Blowing and drifting, you bet. We've got that now, and it will continue to be the story overnight. Live Doppler 10. This picture just has not changed, and it's not going to change now, tonight, or even tomorrow morning, to the extent that it's just going to continue to snow area-wide, mostly light to moderate, but occasional pulses of heavier snow with lake enhancement involved as those winds come in off the lake. And those winds really are an increasing story now. My colleague Jen Lukey at Beatty Beach up on the lakeshore, I'm actually a little envious. If it were my day off, I'd be there just taking in the sights, Jen. How's it going up there right now?
Would you, Kev? Would you really be standing out here for as long as I've been out here? I don't know about that. I want to just get out of the way and show you what it looks like here. The winds are whipping, and they have been all day. Take a look at the lake. You can see just how ferocious these winds are driving these waves, and as I turn to look, I can barely keep my eyes open, and there's probably some water getting on the lens from the spray. And you can see just how much ice is accumulating here. This is accumulated just since we've been here today. And as you said, there's some ice dams in the distance that you can see, and that's sort of offering some protection to the homes in this area, but just obviously a miserable day. At 5 o'clock, we told you some of the homes here are still without power after the storm. Well, guess what? At 6 o'clock, here's the National Grid trucks, National Grid trucks, it looks like, in from out of town and helping out to restore power here. A couple of the homes didn't have it, so obviously they were concerned about what this storm would add on top of the storm damage they already had from earlier this week, but just been a miserable day here altogether. As the whipping winds continue to create huge waves on Lake Ontario, those who live near Beatty Beach are at least a little protected. The weather conditions before today's storm created an ice wall of sorts in front of their homes and cottages. That dam shielded them from some of the wind and snow today, but clearly they still are getting walloped. Mike and Kathleen Dentino used to bring their kids to the beach in the summer, so today they stopped by to see the other extreme.
Just to see, what's going on, see how bad it is. You hear all the business on TV about, these terrible weathers. You come out and you experience it a little bit.
Notice he got to experience it from the warmth of his car. He is come and gone, and we are still here. And I just want to give you one more look at the lake right now because it is incredible to be standing here. I'm having a hard time even standing here. I have a wide stance, and my photographer is buckled down because the wind is just so aggressive here. And obviously with the increase in the snow, that's not helping anything. Just quite a sight here at Lake Ontario. We're going to send it back to you guys in that nice warm studio while we go to our car to warm up here in Greece.
Jen has a lot of courage, doesn't she?
Oh, she sure does.
I
Bless
thought it
her
was
heart.
rough here, but
Yeah.
it looks a lot rougher up there by the lake.
Absolutely. Well, we've heard a lot on the national news about the nor'easter that's hitting the East Coast.
But it's not the nor'easter, but rather the lake effect snow that is adding to our storm totals. Hometown weather expert Amanda McDonald joins us live from Cobbs Hill Park to explain why.
Hi, Brett and Jen. As we do take a look, this is still part of the nor'easter that's making its way into our area. But as we head into tomorrow and overnight tonight, we will see more lake enhancement coming in, and that's mainly going to affect folks closer to the lake shore. Some of the higher elevations, the Bristol Hills, we'll see some additional snowfall tomorrow again, but the hardest hits locations for tomorrow will be closer to the lake shore, where we could see several more inches piling up. Right now, very low visibility, but folks are outside enjoying sledding here at Cobbs Hill. Can see at the very most a quarter mile. The wind chill is well below zero. Kids and adults buttoned up, but the bare skin is just frigid out here right now. Best to stay indoors and wait till the temperatures warm up a little bit. We'll take a closer look at what you can expect again for the next couple of days coming up with Kevin in just a few minutes. Live at Cobbs Hill, a meteorologist, Amanda McDonald.
Amanda, thank you so much. As we've been telling you, the snow continues to fall. In fact, it has now been falling for 22 straight hours, and crews are working to keep those roadways clear so this doesn't cause a headache for drivers. Let's head out live now to Amanda Shivari, who joins us from 490 downtown. Amanda, what are the road conditions like out there?
Well, Brett, they are deteriorating, and they are doing so quickly. They are very slippery and snow-covered. As you can see behind me, this part of 490 is basically completely snow-covered. But those plows, they are coming around. It has been about an hour since we've seen them move through this part of 490. But the tricky part here for plows is that the snow is coming down so frequently and so much that as soon as the plows move through the area, the snow basically has already covered the road once again shortly after they leave. But that is, again, the tricky part for plow drivers. The tricky part for drivers is the blowing snow that we're seeing. We're going to get to that in just a minute. If you are not planning on going on highway roads, we do have some information from drivers who are out on the city roads about the conditions like there. Take a listen.
Just take your time, be careful, and it should be okay. Plus, I have good tires.
I mean, I guess I've seen worse, I guess. It was Rochester, and it's the last one, so hopefully, I guess.
Grin and bear it.
Yeah.
We all, I think, are grin and bearing it right now and hoping that this is the last one, even though it really is the first big one for us here in Rochester. So I mentioned that blowing snow just a few minutes ago. Let's touch back on that. The blowing snow, that's the problem for drivers out here tonight. Visibility is already very minimal with the snow just falling. Then when the wind picks up, it makes it very, very difficult for drivers to see. So if you're heading out there, that is what you need to be aware of tonight. Live in Rochester, Amanda Shivari, News 10 NBC.
All right, Amanda, thank you. From the comfort of your home, we want to take you into the teeth of this March misery storm. And to do that, we go live to Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen in Irondequoit. Burke?
Hey, Brett, I'm on List Avenue, which is kind of in the heart of Irondequoit, but hold on to your hats, because I'm about to take you up to the lakeshore. At the outlet bridge, it's whiteout conditions. So we're trying to take you into the teeth of this storm. That's the outlet bridge into the Irondequoit Bay. We're walking out the pier to Lake Ontario, and it's difficult footing. We were walking straight into the wind. The wind is intense, and it's blowing the sand and the snow, hitting your face like it's sandpaper. The power of the wind pushed 2 feet of sand and snow up onto the pier. It's come all the way up to the railing on the pier. And now, look at what the weather is doing to Lake Ontario. With a white-capped waves of Lake Ontario crashing into almost like a wall of ice that has formed along the lakeshore here in Irondequoit. Let's go inland in Irondequoit. Just as much snow, but we're protected from the wind. Mark Comstock was clearing his driveway again. First a windstorm, now we got this snowstorm. What kind of impact is this having on you?
Well, it's a little bit of an inconvenience. Luckily, we've had a generator, so we've been able to at least keep some heat, and we have light in our living room.
And we were able to get power back on it for Mark and his neighbors today. We're going to show you how we did that coming up at 7. But right now, I want to introduce you to the one person we found that absolutely loves today's storm. This is Sky, and today is his birthday. He gets a snow day on his birthday. Sky, thanks for joining us here. How old are you today?
I'm 12 today.
And where do you go to school?
Iroquois.
And who's your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Greco.
Okay. Happy birthday, Sky. Hopefully Mrs. Greco is watching tonight. We'll be back at 7 o'clock to show you how we helped this neighborhood get power on. And they needed it with this kind of weather. We're live in Irondequoit, Berkeley, Bree News 10, NBC.
Indeed. All right, Burke, thank you. Thousands of people are still without power tonight, and the snow, as you can imagine, isn't helping. Here are the latest power outage numbers for you. At this hour, RG&E is still telling us that 1,100 customers are without power. The majority of those outages are in the city of Rochester, Greece, and Irondequoit. And the problems in Greece continue. Long Pond Road is still closed. This after last week's historic windstorm. The town of Greece has more than 50 plows out at this point, but the snow is delaying work on Long Pond Road. Crews are still trying to repair phone lines. Greece Town Supervisor says avoid unnecessary travel there. We've got a lot more coming up for you. How this is impacting travel at the Greater Rochester International Airport. Plus, need someone to plow your driveway? There's an app for that. We'll show you how it's being used in Rochester.
And good luck trying to get to New York or many of the other bigger Northeast cities for that matter. As for flights in and out of Rochester today, nearly all flights have been canceled. American, United, and Delta Airlines have issued travel alerts. All of them are waiving rebooking fees for flights within affected regions. If you have a flight this evening or tomorrow, you will need to keep checking with that airline to see if they're back on schedule. We have the airport information linked to our website, WHEC.com. Just look under Traffic tab. The snow is piled up on driveways and sidewalks. If you do not have a plow service, you can't shovel the driveway yourself. Plows in mows are there to help. It's being called the Uber of snow plowing. With a tap of a finger on your smartphone, you can get a plow driver to clear your driveway. Just open the app on your phone, type in your address and credit card information, and the app will search for a plow driver for you. 100 plow drivers are on the roads today working for the app.
Our snow coverage continues with this March misery. How much snow could you see into tomorrow morning?
Kevin will tell us how much longer this storm is going to last when we come back.
Now, your forecast with meteorologist Kevin Williams, your hometown weather expert.
And it just keeps on snowing. Good evening to all. Earlier this afternoon, the airport came in with an official observation of 4.7 inches, but it's been snowing heavily there in the Gates area. They now have 10 inches of snow on the ground, and we have more inches of snow ahead of us. So lots of information to impart. Let's get right to it. Our weather watchers checking in for us right now. These are some tallies for you. B in Springwater, so far 12 inches. Dave Parrington, 6.5. But remember, these numbers are being added to continuously. So we're going to see those numbers continue to expand. And the wind is an ongoing issue, especially near the lakeshore. If you have a home on the lakeshore, you know about it. You saw Jen Lukey's reports. We're at Sodas Point, sustained at 31, gusting to 41. And anywhere on the lakeshore, you've got those crashing waves, the ice flows, the blowing snow. It's just that kind of setup. And we are anticipating another 4 to 8 inches of snow tonight. 12 to 18 inches easy for totals, but certainly with lake influences, I could see 20, 22-inch totals by the time it tapers tomorrow afternoon. Extensive blowing and drifting, so just clouds of snow reducing the visibility ongoing tonight into tomorrow. Well, there's Live Doppler 10. I dare you to find a spot where it isn't showing snow right now. Really hard to see. Maybe a little spot there south of Naples, but otherwise we're just blanketed, literally and figuratively, with snowfall. The storm system itself a little farther west in track, so it meant on the coast, they avoided the blizzard here. They changed to rain. The area hardest hit, just so you know, central New York, eastern New York, northeast Pennsylvania. So much so, there was an avalanche today near the Poconos. 2 to 3 feet of snow there. Of course, we're getting it pretty good as well, and we will continue to see it all night tonight. Now, your Futurecast latest rendition. Here it is, 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's snowing. Remember, the darker the purples and blues, the heavier the snowfall. It just continues overnight. There's tomorrow morning. As we go through the midday, it's still snowing, finally tapering and ending by the end of the day. Right now, we've got 19 degrees at the airport. Hey, but the wind chill is 4. Wind chills tonight, 0 and below much of the time, owing to those rather raw, uninviting northerly winds. So snow tonight, a fresh 4 to 8 inches on top of what you saw today, with extensive blowing and drifting snow with local whiteouts. And these are gusts for most of us to 35. I focus on where most people live, work, and play, but on the immediate lakeshore, you're going to have some gusts to 40 and 45 miles per hour easily tonight and into tomorrow morning. Steady snow tomorrow morning, tapers in the afternoon, probably a couple, 3 more inches, blowing and drifting on those northwest winds. 7-day, a little bit of hope. Not exactly spring, but not dead of winter either. 30 is Friday, but a little snow Saturday, and a little more moderate in the temperature regime Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And a reminder, I'm on Facebook Live every night. We call it Weather by Williams, and we've already done 1 segment. We're going to do 2 more tonight. Your chance to ask a personal question in terms of where you might be traveling, or your local town, or what the pattern is doing. So if you have some concerns or just general questions, Facebook Live tonight. I don't have the times yet, but check in with us tonight.
And I'm sure you're getting lots of questions, Kev.
Indeed.
All right, thank you.
Meet this week's Scholar Athlete when we come back. Every Tuesday night, we look for high school athletes who reach high in sports and in the classroom. Rich Donnelly introduces us to this week's Scholar Athlete.
As soon as tip-off started, I was just in the zone.
And what a zone it was. In the Class A quarterfinals, Patrick Phillips pulled down a career-high 28 rebounds to lead Wilson to a huge upset win.
I was just jumping as high as I could for every single ball, just pushing myself as hard as I could.
Patrick's performance on the court got better as the season went along. He was a little out of the swing of things in basketball at the beginning of the season, but it was for a good cause. Patrick played soccer for Wilson and led the Wildcats to the sectional finals for the first time in school history. As the season went along, Patrick became a leader on the basketball team.
Yeah, it feels great being one of the main guys who's helping the team out. Just being there for my teammates really makes me feel good about myself.
There's a lot to feel good about for Patrick. He's a 3-sport athlete in high school who wants to continue playing sports in college. As good as he is on the court, he's even better in the classroom. Patrick has better than a 4.0 average and wants to major in engineering next year.
It's the best field for problem solving and solving the most important issues of today. So I really like being on the forefront of helping people.
And we hope you are too. Congratulations, Patrick Phillips, the News 10 NBC Scholar Athlete of the Week, presented by Monroe Community College and 5 Star Bank.
And we'll be back with a final check of the forecast. Stay with us. Well, it looks like we'll still get quite a bit of snow into the evening.
For a final check of that forecast, let's check with your hometown weather expert, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Williams, who is outside on East Avenue.
Turnabout is fair play.
I know, it's kind of nice out here. In fact, I could use a little cool iced tea if you have a chance. All right, it's not. It's snowing, it's blowing, guys. We've got another 4 to 8 inches of snow coming tonight. And again, it's blowing around, especially away from the city, and it's a slippery brand of snow. Visibility will be reduced, and a couple, 3 more inches of snow coming tomorrow morning. So leave at the very least some extra time for that morning commute. This is great. This is great. Love this.
Thanks for making News 10 NBC your choice for news.
Have a good night.